Lights, camera, action. We're going live with Ian Cameron. This is the overnight shift. My name is Drew Martin, and we're going over tomorrow's card, trying to get out in front of these line moves in Major League Baseball. I'm here with Ian Cameron. You can find him on Twitter at Bobano, his work at sportsmemo.com, also a regular contributor here with SBR. Ian, how you doing today?
Doing great, Drew. Second show, the overnight shift, looking at Thursday's games for May 11th. Looking forward to breaking these down.
Yeah, man, let's get right into it. 9-5-9. We got Toronto versus Seattle. Toronto hosting Seattle. Dae Young, who is a rookie, I believe, a second-round draft choice from your Toronto Blue Jays. He's made his way over to the Seattle Mariners, going up against the team that drafted him, Toronto, and Marco Estrada. Interesting, already getting a movement here. We got Seattle opening plus 148 at Bet Online. Already bet all the way down to plus 130. Reminds me a lot of last year, Ian. Some of these top prospects, man, the market is going to jump all over them. So this is a game where if you're looking to bet Seattle, I'd bet them sooner rather than later. But what is your opinion on this game and where the line's going?
Well, if Seattle, Drew, envisions him as a top prospect, he's got a long way to go, because I've seen a couple of starts from him. It's been rough for Chase DeYoung. 6.75 ERA, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, 16 hits allowed in 13.1 innings. These aren't the numbers of a top prospect, at least in this point in time. Maybe he's going to develop into a viable starter, but it ain't right now for Chase DeYoung. And on the flip side, I think people want to bet against Marco Estrada for some reason, Drew. I mean, it seems to be game in and game out. They look for this guy to regress, that he can't keep doing what he's done each of the last 2 seasons for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, his last start was not good at Tampa Bay. And actually, those are the 2 starts that roughed him up. So maybe it's something about facing the Rays, Drew, at the Tropicana field that's caused Marco Estrada grief. Because you throw out those 2 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less in every single start outside of the 2 where he pitched against the Rays. So it's been pretty good for Estrada. Problem is, I'm not looking to lay this kind of price with Toronto. I'm looking for them more and pick them even money prices or as an underdog. What I would like to do here, initial gut reaction, we have no team totals yet, but a team total over on Toronto makes a little bit of sense. I know they're banged up. Russell Martin, Tulowitzki, Donaldson, Kendrys Morales is not playing on the Wednesday night game. Banged up lineup, but Chase DeYoung has a terrible ground ball rate. I think 29% ground ball rate, Drew. Do you think that's good for success at Rogers Center? Not in my mind. That's not good at all. 8-point-something swinging strike rate. He's not getting a ton of swings and misses either. So I might stay out of the money line. Initial lean to the team total over on the Toronto side there.
Yeah, no, good job breaking that down, Ian. Because I need to correct myself. I thought that this was only his second start. He's actually been on the road his first 3, and looks like he came home and had a decent start, only giving up 1 through 6 innings against Texas. But yeah, no, you corrected me there. So he's not exactly jump on material right now. It's more of a fade of the Toronto lineup, I would say. So that's a little bit worrying for me. But let's move on to 9-6-3 Minnesota versus the Chicago White Sox. We got Tepesh versus Gonzalez. Gonzalez is a bet on guy for me. He's been good. I lost with him last time out, fading Wade Miley, who only went 2/3 of an inning, took a line drive, and then I forget who his name was. The long reliever went like 6 innings, only giving up 1 run, and tore up my bet. So I'm kind of a little pissed off at this one, Ian. But we got Tepesh versus Gonzalez. Looks like the White Sox are laying minus 128 at Bet Online right now. Where do you feel this line's going?
I think you'll see a little White Sox money. I can't envision much Twins money or Tepesh money. If anybody watched Tepesh against the Boston Red Sox on the weekend, I mean, that was just a complete terrible showing from him right from the beginning. For Nick Tepesh in that start. Just got blasted for 7 runs, 1.2 innings, knocked out early. Twins bullpen having to shoulder a ton of the load in that game. Just not a guy that's been very viable as a starting pitcher at the major league level. Think about the fact that the Texas Rangers gave up on him. Texas Rangers did not think he was good enough to be a starting pitcher. And Texas hasn't had a great depth of starting pitchers for the last few years. That's a problem. That tells you Nick Tepesh doesn't have much upside. I think the White Sox, should be able to hit him here in this start. Miguel Gonzalez has been quietly under the radar, other than a bad outing against Detroit. He's been good in every other outing. He's given up 3 runs or less in every other start. His win-loss record is good. The White Sox are 3-2 so far this season with Gonzalez taking the mound. So I wouldn't argue with anyone laying the price here with Chicago. It would be the way I'd lean.
Yeah, I actually disagree with this. And I know it's just at Bet Online right now. We're not, Chris and Pinnacle aren't even out yet, but looks like the White Sox open -138 down to -128. And who knows, that could just be one bet right there. But it's interesting to see the money coming in, at least initially, on Minnesota. I actually disagree with that. It sounds like you do as well. But moving on to 965, 966, Detroit, LA. We got Fulmer versus JC Ramirez. Pretty evenly matched game, in my opinion. My initial lean is probably to Detroit on the first 5. I like Fulmer a lot, and it looks like it's pretty much a dime line, even money, -105 with a total at 7.5. Any opinion on this one, Ian?
Oh, Fuller's bet on for me. The question is, how do I want to attack this game right off the hop? I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go at it, but somehow, some way, I'd either want to back Detroit or the under in this game because I like Fulmer quite a bit. He's been very good for this Tigers team all season long. Been very, very consistent. The majority of his starts 3 runs or less. Even J.C. Ramirez, though, has been a pleasant surprise for the L.A. Angels. Been better than I think a lot of people expected here. The bullpen for Detroit bothers me. I mean, we've talked about it on various shows in terms of ERA. One of the worst, if not the worst, bullpen in Major League Baseball, Detroit. I'd prefer to take them out of the equation. I think it's a lower scoring start to this game, maybe a slight edge to Fulmer as well over Ramirez, even though Ramirez has been solid in a lot of his starts for the Angels. So I'm looking at it with, I wouldn't talk you out of Detroit first 5 innings, maybe the under in the first 5 innings as well. Take these bullpens out of the equation. You could see something like a 2-1, 3-1, 1-1 type of start to this game through the first 5.
Okay, yeah, and we're gonna hit on one more, Ian. We got what's this one called? 969, 970, Baltimore, Washington. Is this the Beltway series?
I think it is. I think that is what they call it. But that's one name that's escaped me in terms of what they call this Orioles Nationals DC Maryland battle.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I think it's the Beltway. If not, tweet at us or feel free to comment if you want us to hit on any other games where we think the line's going here in the YouTube live chat. But we got Bundy versus Cole. And actually, I mixed up our first game going over there in this guy Cole. This guy Cole is, I believe, he was drafted in the 4th round. I'm trying to do a little research on him. He's from Florida. He's pitched in 1 game, Washington at Philly, and looks like he went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run, 6 hits. So a little unsure about this guy Cole. I know I don't like the Washington bullpen, as Big Man on Campus says on the roundtable. But Bundy, he's been bet on. Looks like it's interesting to see Baltimore only at -110. That's kind of surprising. It's almost like they're daring you to bet on Washington. But you got any feeling on this one, Ian?
Oh, it's a terrible Washington bullpen. It's an absolute mess right now in terms of being able to get outs. And that's been a problem for Dusty Baker's squad all season long. Nobody's hammered that point more, as you mentioned, Drew, than our buddy, Big Man on Campus, Jeff Nadeau. I mean, he's been on top of it with how bad this bullpen is. I mean, who do you count on to get outs in that bullpen? I mean, Blake Trainen's been terrible. Train in vain, as the Clash would say with him. You're struggling. You're losing games in vain with him on the mound. I mean, my goodness, it's terrible. There's just a bunch of bad arms in this pen. Kelly's been up and down. This Eddie Romero's not getting the job done. I mean, Oliver Perez, how the hell is he still in a major league bullpen? I mean, it's comical with this Nationals team. So, yeah, I agree. Their bullpen's a mess. They can certainly hit. We know this offense is capable. There's no denying that. But I like Dylan Bundy, and I don't like much of what I see from A.J. Cole. A.J. Cole's another guy like Kyle Kendrick, didn't have good AAA numbers before the call-up. I know in the first start he made 1 run on 6 hits and 6 innings at Philadelphia. Now you're going to face a much more potent, power-laden Baltimore lineup. And let's keep in mind, even though he only gave up 1 run in that start to the Phillies, A.J. Cole, more walks than strikeouts, 4 walks to 2 strikeouts. That's a red flag for me in terms of command and control and the lack of ability to find the strike zone consistently enough. So I'm a little bit surprised where the price point is here on the opener here. Dylan Bundy's a guy that I like. I'd rather have my money on him. I don't trust that Washington pen. Big edge to the Orioles in terms of bullpen. So I can only look to Baltimore here.
Yeah, I'm on that side as well. I wouldn't be surprised if I get there tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Baltimore at -120, even upwards of -130. But we'll see where the market goes. So, Ian, anything else on tomorrow's card?
Yeah, just quickly about the move, I would expect some Baltimore money to come in. This might be one game where if you're looking to back Bundy and the Orioles, I'd do it sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. I am definitely in agreement. And for Ian Cameron, find him on Twitter at Bobano. Make sure to check out the SBR odds page to make sure you're getting the best of the number. Remember, you always want at least 2 books to be able to compare and to line shop. But I'm Drew Martin. We'll be at you on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific to go over Saturday's baseball card and where we think the lines are going. Thanks for tuning in.
Enjoy the games and good luck.